May I come in?
Okay.
Good afternoon,
Tanuj,
sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Have a
Good
seat.
afternoon, sir.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Tanuj, you are a metallurgical and materials engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
How many substances can be taken out of a crude oil? Just start naming.
So petrol, diesel, naphthalene. Um, these are the few I can recall right now, sir.
Okay.
Sir, LPG, natural gas can also be taken out of crude oil.
See, Uttarakhand was made out of Uttar Pradesh, right?
Yes, sir.
What development have you seen in Uttarakhand after the partition? What has developed? The idea was to develop the state.
Yes, sir.
Has it really developed, and what has developed?
It has been developing, sir. Past 2000, we have seen that we have annual growth rate of 10%, around 10%, which is a good growth rate. Secondly, sir, infrastructure has also been quite good now. For instance, the Char Dham Mahamarg Yojana, which is going on, has increased our capabilities of road infrastructure. Thirdly, sir, investment has been coming up, and we have seen development of industrial corridors. For instance, in Rudrapur, Sitkul has been established. Similarly, in near Dehradun and Sitarganj, there have been quite a lot of industries that have been coming up. Moreover, sir, we have also seen that tourism industry is being promoted in a good way, so that the human development in hilly and rural areas of Uttarakhand have also been grown, sir. So there have been positive development post separation, sir. Yes.
Okay. Marriage means what to you?
So marriage is a union of a woman and one and more other person, in which the children of such pair born have legitimate rights, which is provided by the society itself, sir. So this is what marriage is according to me, sir.
If by any law we can provide legitimate right to the children of to these people not born with them, that also will be marriage.
Sir, marriage would be a legal union between the two, sir.
So
Sir,
that's also legal. Marriage between two same sex. These days we have marriage between same sex.
yes, sir.
They adopt children
Yes, sir.
and everything is legal. Is it a marriage?
So there are two ways to look at this. So one is the legal acceptance and other is the social acceptance that we talk about while talking about marriage. In India, sir, we do not have both yet, but the society is growing as a whole, sir, and I believe that in time to come, there would be social acceptance for same-sex marriage too, sir.
Okay. See, certain local engineering colleges, institutes have been named as IITs,
Yes, sir.
NITs and IITs. What happens if you change the name from local to IIT? What improvement does it bring around?
So, so local as in the private colleges that changes their name?
Yes.
Sir, on the college part, they are trying to attract more and more students, and it might be their strategy to gain more students. But sir, I don't think that is right. I think these colleges should improve their infrastructure as a whole. They should hire world-class faculties to provide good studies to the students. Thirdly, sir, they should work upon their laboratories to make them high-tech laboratories so that the engineers which are coming up, they are receiving world-class education. Fourthly, sir, they should also increase their funding in infrastructure such as sports and cultural activities, which provide, for instance, our IITs have invested heavily in sports and cultural activities, which has given holistic development to personalities of individuals. So these colleges are just not should change their names, but also invest in such
So
improving their
no
infrastructure.
point changing the names.
Sir, I think it is purely for attracting the students, and I don't think they are investing in any other good activities, sir.
So similar way, what about changing the names of places? Allahabad to something else, Mughal Sahib to something else. Why change the names of places and railway stations and all?
So these changing of names come from the people itself. If a people of a particular area wants to change a name, and since there is a consensus to change the name from people itself, so I think so that is a good move. But again, sir, it requires a lot of funds from the exchequer to change all the names, places, as well as documents. So if the state has capacity to expand, to have a huge expenditure on changing names, then it should go on it. And sir, but the consensus should come from people itself to change the names. It should not be a top-down approach, but it should be a bottom-up approach, sir, if we want to change the name of any place, sir.
Okay.
See, coming to the name change, first is coming to the nomenclature of the institutes.
Yes, sir.
Do you think any private institute can name itself by any other name? Like a private engineering college can write it about itself as the IIT of so and so?
I'm sorry, sir. Sir, actually, they're not. The full form is not Indian Institute of Technology, but they are, for instance, they will name as Indore Institute of Technology, and that is how they will try to achieve IIT name.
Still,
That
they need to have I guess, AICT approval. They need to have some approval from the government agency on their own. They cannot write any name they feel like.
Okay.
If it is Indore Institute of Technology, that is fine. Let them write Indore Institute of Technology. Still, they need to have an approval.
Okay.
In short, they cannot write IIT because it would be it would be deceptive.
Yes, sir.
So, but in any case, one has to seek approval from a government body.
Okay.
Maybe
Thank you, sir.
in terms of AICT. On your own now. Now your name is registered. Can you change your name now?
So we'll have to approach the authorities to do that.
There is a proper procedure to change your name.
Yes, sir.
Now suddenly you cannot say now I was so and so and now I become so and so all by yourself.
Yes, sir.
But still names have governments have been changing names. Do you see any merit or do you see any demerit in the change of name?
So merit is we are moving away from the Western notions and the colonization that we had, or so we are moving away from that part. So that is one thing. Second is we are fulfilling the aspirations of people who connect with their traditions and their culture. So that is the main reason why doing that. So negative, sir, as we have seen that it is having huge load on the exchequer. It will require huge amount of investment to change such names.
Okay.
These are the few.
Like what's your first choice is IAS?
IAS, yes.
IAS. Let's say if you are the district magistrate in any of the districts and you have been there, you have been very tough officer, suddenly somebody comes and says that, sir, your personal assistant or your steno, he has been demanding 2 lakh rupees from me for getting some work done. He has applied for some license or whatever this thing.
Yes, sir.
What would you do? Because you are a government servant, there is a complaining as this thing, your PA, and also he says that PA कहता है जब तक तुम पैसा नहीं दोगे साहब तुम्हारा काम नहीं करेंगे, पैसा तो ऊपर भी जाना है.
Yes, sir.
How do you propose to handle this situation?
So my first step would be to form an inquiry committee against that person who is demanding some bribe to do some work. So inquiry committee would holistically check if the person has been demanding bribes. They would check their phones, cameras, etc. would be done. And sir, if the person is proven that he is taking a bribe, then under Prevention of Corruption Act, strict action would be taken against such person. So this will be my course of action that I will take.
Who would you deploy to be the inquiry officer? Somebody
Sir, assistant, sir, maybe ADM.
Who would be your subordinate?
Sir, no, a third part. I would try to choose a third party. For instance, I can approach Superintendent of Police or these persons, or sir, ADM I can approach, or CDO I can approach to form a committee.
Normally, SP and the ADMs, they work under the DM. So since there is a complaint against your just next subordinate, somebody who is working in close tandem with you, do you think this approach won't he be influenced by, there would always be an allegation that you have influenced your SP or the ADM?
Sir, I will then reach out to Joint Secretary and Secretary. I will inform them to form a committee, sir. To my seniors, I will to form a committee, I will reach out to my seniors.
Won't it amount to that you are not able to even protect your man who is working very diligently with you?
Sir, I'll have to keep myself away to bringing out my impartiality, sir. I would not try to be seen as partial with someone. That is why, sir, I will reach to third party to form an inquiry committee, sir.
Okay. And what is a typical problem you see maybe as an SP, if you are an SP in a district, any of the district, maybe in Uttarakhand, in Delhi, wherever, by and large, our problems are the same. What are the typical problems you see, especially in policing? Police is also your choice.
Yes, sir. So first is the overburdening of police personnel is there. Secondly, sir, there has been petty corruption also, which is present in police. So we'll have to work on that. Thirdly, sir, there have been certain reports have highlighted the nexus between police, politicians, gangsters. So that is one major problem that we see, sir. Thirdly, sir, the custodial tortures. There have been reports about custodial tortures from various parts of states. So that is also a major issue with respect to police. So these are certain problems that I see. And some crimes, another problem we see that crimes against women especially, they are still prevalent. So these are certain problems, sir.
Or there are reports of crime against women. Also, there are reports of police personnel, lower ranks especially, they are not being well paid. They are not looked after well. They have long duty hours.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All
sir.
these things would come into your domain.
As an SP, sir?
Yeah.
So it would be a policy matter, so I think it would be executives who will do that. But I'll try from my side to place the police personnel adequately.
Do you see the communication between the government agency like the district magistrate or the SP or the Daroga and the police and the common people? Is it adequate? Are the administrative officers available to the common people, or this is an issue?
So yes, sir, there was an issue before. There was a issue of Babu culture that we say, which was prevalent. But now, sir, I am seeing there has been changing trend regarding this. With the coming of social media, sir, common people can now easily reach out to not only officers but also to executives through various handles and platforms that has been given. There have been certain platforms that have come in, such as mygov.in, where they can put in their complaints and reach out to officials. So moreover, with the coming of RTI Act, sir, people can readily access information from any authority that they can seek.
Do you know what is the duration that is given under the RTI Act to elicit information from a particular department?
Sir, as far as I can recall, it is 2 months in normal times and 48 hours.
If I have an issue, there is no 48 hours. It is only, minimum is 30 days. If I have an issue, I make a complaint under RTI and I get a response within 30 days, whatever response, would my problem wait for 30 days? Would it stay stagnant or it will develop? Would the RTI help us quickly? Because there are situations where RTI may not be helpful. One needs to reach out to the officer.
So I think now the interaction between the officers and common people have been increasing. One can directly reach out to DM himself in DM office. So the doors are now
Any
open.
personal experience do you have? Do you have any personal experience of reaching out to the government officials?
I do not have, sir. I personally do not.
Let me tell you, it's still very difficult to reach out to the SP and the DM of a district.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
This is, to my mind, this is a fact. Even today, despite the social media, despite the WhatsApp, despite the phone, despite the everything else. Ma'am.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Tanuj.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you enlighten me with the meaning of your name?
Ma'am, Tanuj means son, as beta.
Beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is the difference between Tanuj, Anuj?
Ma'am, Anuj means younger brother, ma'am.
And elder brother is known as?
Agraj, ma'am, in Hindi.
Agraj. Okay, since you belong to Uttarakhand and you spoke about the Char Dham corridor and all, I would like to know your views regarding balance between economic development and environmental conservation? Uttarakhand is more of forest area, greenery.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you manage both?
Ma'am, both are very important part of development of Uttarakhand. So, ma'am, but ma'am, conserving environment is a very, very important step. So, for that, ma'am, firstly, there must be adequate environment impact assessment before building of any infrastructure. Secondly, ma'am, there must be adequate flood-prone zonation mapping, landslide zonation mapping must be done adequately, so that we must know where the infrastructure have to be constructed and which areas to be left out. Thirdly, ma'am, geologists must be included, and there must be frequent surveys about the geology of the entire hills. So that must be done. So, ma'am, in this way, we'll conserve the environment, but ma'am, still we'll have to develop industrial corridors, we'll have to develop roads for two things primarily. First, ma'am, providing economic opportunities to the people who were deprived of them earlier. And secondly, ma'am, national security. As our Honorable Supreme Court has already said, national security is one of the most important concerns that we have. And for moving artillery frequently to the borders of our Uttarakhand, we'll have to, ma'am, manufacture roads. So a sustainable development approach is the need of an hour, ma'am.
So, as I understand from your answer, you told me how to go ahead, what measures to be taken. That is understood. What if all those directives that you laid down, that has to be taken into consideration, and if a negative reports come as per that, then still do we need to develop this Char Dham corridor, or other than that any?
I would go against it if there are reports that the areas that we choose are very fragile. We know that Uttarakhand comes under zone 5 and zone 4, which are highly prone to earthquake, landslides and disasters. So if reports says otherwise, we'll have to check out another ways. For example, helicopters, ropeways, that must be the way forward, ma'am.
Okay. And there is this very strong motion going towards one nation, one election.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your take on the same?
There are certain positives of one nation, one election. For instance, the voter turnout would increase, ma'am, if there are one elections. Secondly, the administrative machinery that is being utilized in various elections, it would be utilized only once, ma'am. This will lead to national integration. And moreover, ma'am, it will also reduce the proliferation of political parties with very narrow social base, which are using money for money laundering, etc. So these are certain positives. But ma'am, there are certain negatives also. For instance, it will hamper our diversity that we cherish about, because the focus would be on national elections more. Local issues would be... but still, ma'am, we have simultaneous elections from 1950, 1967 onwards. And many institutions such as ECI Election Commission has themselves said that it is a feasible step if they are provided adequate funds. So, ma'am, I support simultaneous elections. It can be done, ma'am, again.
Okay. Nowadays, we hear a lot about forest fire and floods. Yes. That too in the hilly areas. Yes. Floods affecting there and forest fires happening. Why is it happening, and what are the cures that can be taken?
Ma'am, there are multiple reasons of forest fire. There are natural reasons, ma'am. For instance, heat waves that are being increasing, that is naturally causing forest fire. Secondly, ma'am, during a storm, the leaves rub together and caused it. But ma'am, mostly is done by anthropogenic factors. For instance, tourism, ma'am, one of the things is responsible for that. Lighting matches is responsible for that. Shifting cultivation is also, ma'am, sometimes responsible for forest fires. So these are certain reasons, ma'am. For reducing, ma'am, such activities, I think community participation is one of the most important thing. For instance, ma'am, the forest fire is catched by the pirul that is shed by the cheer tree. So community engagement has to be done so that before the autumn season, the pirul that is being lying on the ground has to be cleared out. Ma'am, secondly, the forces, SDRF, NDRF have to be have to be adequately trained that they should act very swiftly, ma'am, while clearing the forest fires. That has to be done. Thirdly, technologies can be now used. For instance, drone facilities can be utilized to put away forest fires once they are burning, ma'am. So technology is also one of the important domains that have to be utilized now, ma'am.
And what can be the reason behind floods in hilly areas?
Ma'am, there are multiple reasons for that too. Firstly, ma'am, anthropogenic factors. For instance, anywhere earthquake comes, ma'am, it leads to floods. Secondly, cloud bursts have also been increasing, which are coming. Thirdly, ma'am, the glaciers are now receding, and which is turning to small lakes. And due to melting of ice, these lakes are coming down and leading to glacial lake outburst floods, ma'am. So these are certain reasons, ma'am, why floods are very frequent now in Uttarakhand, ma'am.
Sir.
You have a very beautiful hobby of listening old Hindi songs.
Yes, sir.
Can you mention 4 male and 3 female singers from old times?
Yes, sir. Sir Kishore Kumar, Mukesh Saab, Rafi Saab, and Mahindra Kapoor, sir.
So, who is Rafi Saab?
Mohammad Rafi Saab, sir. He was a very great singer. And females are Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle, and Shamshad Begum.
Okay, very good. So, any famous song of any one of these which you like?
So Kishore Kumar is my favorite singer, and there are many songs that I like. And
I asked you anyone.
sir, Tere Bina Zindagi Se Koi Shikwa To Nahi.
Who was the lyricist?
So I think, as far as I can recall, it was Gulzar Saab, sir, who wrote that song.
Okay, fine. So, now, we are listening to this fog and incidences of flight delays and sometimes even unruly behavior.
Yes, sir.
How to handle this situation?
So can I take few seconds to think?
Please. There are certain
Yes.
observations made by Directorate of Civil Aviation.
Sir, I have not gone through the reports, sir, exhaustively. But sir, as far as my understanding goes, sir, I think we'll have to increase the infrastructure that is present in airports. There are certain landing sites which are fog resilient. They are landing sites. But as we see in IGI airport, out of 2, only 1 is functional, and that is leading to overcrowding and delays, sir. So we'll have to build more runways that are fog resilient. Secondly, sir,
A runway or infrastructure is not built in a day. Problem is right now. How to handle the present problem? That is the issue.
sir, I'll have to go through. I'm not aware of the
Okay,
reports,
fine,
sir, as of
fine,
now.
No
sir.
problem. Your place, Haldwani,
Yes,
is
sir.
known for a variety of potato is also known by that same name.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you please
A
repeat?
variety of potato is also
sir.
known as Haldwani potato.
Yes,
How
sir.
it is different from the normal potatoes?
So it is grown in Golapar area, as far as I can remember. So the nutritious content of that potato is better than other potato that we have.
Like what? Potato has
It is
starch.
sweet in, sir. It's more sweet in nature. If you can eat it, it is more sweeter than the normal potato that we have.
Normal potato, if you kept for a longer period of time, turns sweet because starch is converted into sugar.
So that is only a difference I know. It's more sweet, and other I have to check, sir. I'm not aware about it, sir.
Okay, no problem. So we were talking about marriage.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
know what is the basic purpose of marriage? What is the basic purpose of marriage?
So there are few purposes. First is reproduction. Second is, sir, as per a functionalist called Malinowski, he said to reduce anarchy that is present.
Why we always quote West? Nobody has given better understanding of marriage as the Indian system has given. That fellow came much later. Marriage established itself as a great institution in ancient times in this country.
Yes, sir. So sociological understanding.
The most important reason for having marriage is to maintain order in the society while fulfilling your very basic desires, including sexual desires.
Yes, sir.
You need to have a desire. You have a desire of companionship also.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes.
Then procreation and other things. So that way, does same-sex marriage fulfill those purposes?
Sir, same-sex.
Or we as a society are getting bogged down by the West unnecessarily. The West, which is crying harsh about this, that the breaking down of institution of marriage is leading to breaking down of the basic unit of society called family.
Yes, sir.
So,
Sir, our Indian Constitution itself has, sir, given liberty in terms of.
Constitution has come into existence 50 years ago. Society existed way back.
But sir, we are growing as a society as a whole. So we have to accommodate right to choice to marry of a person. And that is also upheld in various laws, by various cases by Supreme Court, sir. So we gradually, we have a right to choice and we are trying to provide it to.
So can I make a choice of slapping somebody because I like it?
No, sir, that would be, sir, legally, it will be wrong, sir, to, but sir, providing someone to.
But people do.
Yes, sir.
But we don't call it right now.
It's ethically wrong,
we
sir.
We have really a great justification when we call same-sex marriage. People of same sex can live together. That's a different thing. That is their choice. But it is not marriage. Do you agree that this is marriage?
So yes, sir, various sociologists have agreed that a marriage is a union between a woman.
I told you the sociologists who are studying the institution of marriage, they came much later. Marriage as an institution existed since tribal times.
Yes,
primitive societies were there.
Yes.
So they are just talking about it, but it existed. So talk about those, give those examples.
So, but as a society, we are, that time, sir, it was
And
not.
we are East, we are not West. Please try to understand.
So, but human rights and human dignity are same everywhere, sir. So, we'll have to provide dignity to the individuals who, by birth or by.
The same people who talk about human rights violate the maximum number of human rights. For example, USA. You know the example of Guantanamo Bay.
Yes.
What to do about that? That is
So
duplicity.
but that is wrong, sir. So, we'll have to give dignity to each and every individual.
I mean to say, why we are taking those people's words as ideal who themselves are not really following those principles.
So, we are following our constitutional principles now, sir. We are not following the.
Constitution cannot speak about everything. It gives such a broad guideline.
Yes.
And it cannot define each and every behavior of the society. You know, the ultimate purpose is to maintain morality. If we are not able to do that, then Constitution also has some drawbacks. Is it so or not?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
That's why we need amendments and changes over time.
Yes, sir.
Right. So one last question. Since you are a BTech in Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, what is the first evidence of metallurgy in the process of evolution of human beings? When do we get the first evidence? You studied it.
Yes, sir.
And the answer is very simple.
Sir, in.
Okay, tell me.
Say
I rephrase the
So,
question.
Neolithic period, we have evidence of iron that has been.
Iron, factually
I'm sorry,
incorrect.
sir. In Iron Age, sir. It's in Iron Age around 2000 years ago. And so, even before that, we have evidence of copper in Chalcolithic period, sir. So.
You were right to the extent you said Neolithic period. But then you mixed up. Neolithic period, men came to know about 4 kinds of metals. That were copper, tin, which became bronze when mixed up later, and then gold and silver.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sir.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Governments get elected. People elect the government of their choice and it comes to power. It should work as per the will of the people. The policies program should conform to what people want. That's our democratic system, right? Can you quote any instance where government has not worked as per the will of the people and it had to withdraw that work?
So, one of the very prominent example are the farm bills that were rolled out in last year, which was rolled out by the government, but when people protested against those laws, government had to take it back, sir. So, that was one of the instances.
Okay, Tanuj.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.